Hello everyone, welcome to this new video on Bold Reports. I will show you how to add the Web Report Designer to an ASP.NET Core application. Report Designer is a web-based what you see is what you get reporting tool for creating and editing RDL and RDLC reports. It comes with a wide range of reporting items to transform data into meaningful information and quickly build business reports. Let me show you how to add the Web Report Designer to an ASP.NET Core application. First, to create an application, run this command. And name the project Core Report Designer. Once the application is created, navigate to the application's root folder by changing the current working directory. Next, to install the necessary NuGet packages in the application, I add the boldreports.net.core and boldreports.aspnet.core packages. boldreports.aspnet.core help utilize the Bold Reports functionalities in the application. The dependent packages will be installed automatically. After adding the necessary packages to the application, let me initialize the Report Designer in the project. First, I open the viewImport.cs HTML file in the Views folder and define the tag helpers to initialize it. Bold Reports.tag helpers allows you to effortlessly integrate server-side with our HTML elements. Next, let me reference the scripts in CSS. I add the necessary scripts inside the head tag to load the Report Designer control. Next, after removing the existing code, I create a div element in the body section to create a report on the client side. Then, I invoke the renderBody method. Next, I add the renderSection method and Bold Script Manager tag to the body section of the HTML file. The renderSection method defines a section in Razor View where you can inject additional scripts, and the Bold Script Manager is a custom HTML tag provided by Bold Reports to manage the loading of the Report Designer control. In order to initialize the scripts properly, the Script Manager should be added at the end of the body element. After initializing, I must configure the Web API. I create a new controller file named reportdesignercontroller.cs, to which I add all the necessary using statements references, declare the required namespaces, and define the classes. First, I add the system namespace, which provides classes and base types such as string, int, datetime, and console operations. Then, add the system.collections.generic namespace, which provides classes and interfaces for working with generic collections. Next, I add the system.link namespace, which enables querying collections using the language-integrated query. Next, add the system.threading.tasks namespace, which supports asynchronous programming using task and async await to improve performance. I add the Microsoft.ASP.NET.Core.HTTP namespace that provides classes for handling HTTP requests and responses in the ASP.NET Core application. Next, I add the Microsoft.ASP.NET.Core.MVC namespace to the controller file, which allows you to build the web application, including web APIs, while providing essential features like routing and model binding. Then I add the boldreports.web.reportviewer namespace, which provides the classes and interfaces specific to the Bold Reports library and is used to configure and manage the report viewer. I add the boldreports.web.reportDesigner namespace that provides the class and interfaces specific to the library and is used to configure and manage the Report Designer. To avoid naming conflicts, I add the Core Report Designer namespace, and then add the root attribute to define the controller's root. Next, inherit the controller and implement the iReportDesigner controller interface in the Report Designer controller class to handle the designing of reports. The interface declares the action method for processing reports and handling resource requests within the Web API controller. To read the report file from the application, I use the iWeb hosting environment interface through dependency injection to access the web path. Then, I add the getFilePath method to generate and return a file path for storing cached report files in the application directory. Next, add the getImage to retrieve the image used in the Bold Reports Web Report Designer. Next, implement the getResource method to retrieve images used in the report from the server. Next, implement the onInitReportOptions method, which invokes the report helper method when a report is about to be processed. And I implement the onReportLoaded method, which also invokes the report helper method when a report and its subreport start loading for rendering. Next, add the postDesignerAction method to process client requests to the Report Designer service. Then, add the postFormDesignerAction method that interacts with the Report Designer service to process form-related actions. Next, I add the postFormReportAction method to save exported reports to the client side using the HTTP post action. Next, I add the postReportAction method designed to process report-related actions in the report processing pipeline. Next, add setData to write the resource into a storage location. Next, add getData, which reads the resource from the storage location. Lastly, add uploadReportAction to upload a report file. Next, I need to register the license token to remove the license validation message. In this demo, I'm going to use an online license token. License tokens can be generated in the Claim License Key section of the Bold Reports Accounts page. So I open the program.cs and add the code to register the token. I have provided a link to the documentation on registering a license using online license tokens and offline license keys in the video's description. Next, I need to invoke the Web API in the controller from the client side to create the report. So I open the index.cshyaml file and add the Bold Report Designer tag to it. This custom HTML element provided by the Bold Reports library is used to embed the designer in a web page. Inside the tag, I need to add the ID attributes and service URL API properties. The ID attribute specifies the unique name for the HTML element, so I assign a designer to it. The service URL specifies the report service URL that creates and renders the report. Now everything is ready to load the report designer. I run this application. See the report designer control loaded in the browser. Here you can add some report items and download the report as an RDL file. In this video, I have shown you how to add the Web Report Designer to an ASP.NET Core application. If you found this video helpful, click the like button and subscribe to our channel to watch more videos like this. Thanks for watching.